Hey guys, so I'm sitting here, um, just getting ready to sew something actually, and looking out the window, and I just remembered, um, I don't know how I remembered this. I don't know what I was thinking, um, but I was thinking something about being in God's will, and I remembered a dream I had last night. I dreamt that it was like there was two people and the area was dark, and there was one particular person that when he was away from this person, he was away from this person, he was getting physically attacked by someone else. So, and then I understood in the dream that when we're in God's will, that we're protected, we're safe. Perhaps this person here was, represented God. But when we're outside of God's will, we're not under that shadow of protection anymore, under that umbrella of protection, and we're actually susceptible to other attacks. Now, that doesn't mean that when you're in God's will, you won't experience difficulties, you won't experience resistance or trials. It doesn't mean that. What it does mean is that you will kind of be possibly overcome by them. By being outside of God's will, you're not going to be protected. So I just wanted to share that because that's what I just remembered about the dream. And it makes me think of Psalms 91. And this is kind of just a reiteration, actually, of what I heard in service this past Sunday. So God is trying to speak to me about something, and so I'll share it with you. So Psalm 91, it says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I declare this about the Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God, and I trust him. He will rescue you from every trap and protect you from every deadly disease. He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Do not be afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the hour that flies in the day. Do not dread the disease that stalks in darkness, nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Though 1,000 fall at your side, though 10,000 are dying around you, these evils will not touch you." Of course, it continues on. If you'd like to read it, it's really awesome. I used to read this almost every night because I used to be afraid to sleep. I used to experience a lot of spiritual warfare at night. I literally sensed like evil spirits, and I would be afraid, so I would read this out loud, and sleep with my Bible right by my head. And God really got through me through a lot of scary nights. Especially, do not be afraid of the terrors of the night. You know. So, but I actually read more than I planned to read. I really just was thinking about reading the first few lines because it says, "Those who live in the shelter of the Most High." Being in his shelter, being close to him. When we start to travel off, when we start to stray, that's when we're outside of his protection. So, and this also says, verse 4, "He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection." This is interesting too because sometimes God promises us something that we're not sure if, we even believe it's going to happen, or it might sound crazy. And, when God promises something, it's a promise, it's definite, it's done, and he's going to do it. So, and those promises are our protection, so when you're walking in that promise, when you're following the path that God has led you upon, even though it doesn't seem like it's the right path. His promise is our protection and our armor, and he will protect us in that place, even if it is a crazy place to be at the moment. So, this, I guess, is, I'm kind of speaking to myself right now, because I seek the Lord and I ask him for direction, and then I receive, like, okay, I believe that this is the right thing to do. And then of course I doubt, probably like everybody else. Are you sure, God? Are you sure this is really what you want? And he's never just gonna speak out of the sky and say yes or no. I mean, maybe he will, I don't know. I don't want to put God in a box. He's bigger than that. But me personally, in my own life, I have not experienced his audible voice saying yes or no. He has always revealed things and guided me as I sought him, as I prayed, as I walked in obedience. And that's really the most important thing, is to walk in his obedience. Just like the dream that I had, that when you're close to him, where you're supposed to be, you're protected. But once you're outside of that umbrella of protection, then you're out in the world. If you think about, you're at a bus stop waiting for a bus, you're safe, you're dry. But once you step out of that covering there, then you're out there. You could get hit by a car. You could, whatever. Something can happen. And even when you're waiting in the bus stop, something can happen to you. A car can come in and hit you. But if you're in God's will, if you're walking in his will, you will be protected. His faithful promises are your armor and your protection. If he has said, I have given you this, I have given you this place, this thing to do, I've given this to you, that's your protection. That's your armor, to just stand on God's word. When the Israelites, when they got to the promised land, they were afraid. There was giants there, but God gave them the land. They didn't have to be afraid. They could just walk in, and God would make a way, regardless of their surroundings, regardless of what resistance they would face. So I just like to encourage you to trust in God, whatever promise he has revealed to you, whatever direction he has revealed for you to go, to trust it, that he will get you there and he will protect you, and stay in his will. Don't step outside of his will. And if you are at a place where you don't know what to do, seek him. Pray, read, fast, worship him, and he will guide you. He is so faithful to guide you, and sometimes he'll guide you as you're, in ahead. He'll say, okay, 3 months I want you to do this. In 3 months I want you to do that, or whatever. That's what he's doing in my life right now. So it's not about 3 months specifically. It might be a different time frame for everybody else. But and then sometimes he won't let you know what he wants you to do until the moment before he wants you to do it. So it's really just, walking with God is really just literally walking with him. Literally just going with him as he guides you, and trusting that he will, bring you to the right place, that he will get you there safely. And, all things work for those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So just continue to love him and trust him. And I hope that this blessed you. I pray that you receive what we discussed more than what I explained. This was kind of like on a whim. I didn't really plan to, make a video. But okay, I hope that it blessed you. And I'll talk to you soon.